I mentioned before, today is Anniversary Sunday. 8 years. 8 years to get to this moment in time as a community. And just for fun, I looked up the meaning of the number 8. I know some of y'all are into numerology. 8 is a number of balance. Even the symbol 8 is balanced, right? And one reference said that 8 is the number that signifies new beginnings and regeneration. And I think all of that is just perfect. I think it's perfect for us right now. We are certainly in a spot of regeneration and renewal at this moment as we cross this threshold to begin our 9th year. 8 perfect years. 8 years of the perfect people showing up at the perfect time, the perfect resources flowing in and out of this community, the perfect teaching, the perfect coming and going. And I know that Spirit shows up in every step, every big step that this community has taken and every little step. Spirit shows up, just like the reading that Michelle did. Spirit is at the center of everything. But sometimes we don't know how to recognize the Spirit in every step. We don't always know how to lean into that whisper of the divine and follow its lead. So this morning, I'm going to help us look back at the year that was. And I want us to recognize how Spirit showed up in every step for us right here as a spiritual community. And I want to share with all of you some of the behind the scenes stuff, the work that was going on, and tell you some of the significant parts of the story of this year. And the point is not for you to understand what we did, but for you to take this as an example. Because what we did as a community is a teaching moment for you as you live your life. Now listen for clues as to how Spirit showed itself in synchronicities, and see if you can recognize some of that stuff going on in your own experience. So back a year ago, when we were kind of celebrating our 7th anniversary a year ago, we began this idea of having a new spot. But we're all wanting something new, right? You know, we're all trying to make our lives just a little bit better, a little bit sweeter, a little bit more complete, a little higher functioning, if you will. We want our health to be healthier and our wealth to be wealthier. We want our love to be lovelier. We want our friends to be friendlier, right? You know, we want to create something or take it to another level. I think that's our hunger as a human being, and as long as we're alive, that's what we still want. We want that little uptick in things. So perhaps there's something for you to pick up on for yourself by looking at what we did as a community to uptick our life as a community. See, God, the divine, is not some external deity sitting up there somewhere on a cloud. God is a creative intelligence that exists in all things. And we are guided when we consciously keep aligning ourselves to that creative intelligence as an individual or as a group, as we're doing. And as we have been consciously aligning ourselves with this creative intelligence throughout this past year, we've purposefully created the moment that we're standing on today, on the precipice of something big. Ernest Holmes says this. He says, all of your work begins and ends in your consciousness, because mind is all there is. Mind is all there is. So no matter what you consider the work, he's talking about the work, no matter what you consider the work you need to do in your life, all of it begins in thoughts and in your awareness of who you are doing whatever that work is. That's your consciousness. That's your consciousness. Before you do anything, you have a thought or a desire or an intention. And that is where we began as a community 7 years ago. I mean, on our 7th anniversary a year ago. But we began it all 8 years ago, but I can only talk really firmly about the last year, right? So a year ago, I had been officially installed the Friday night before, as you're officially like your senior minister, we kind of got married as a community. The Friday night before we celebrated our 7th anniversary. We had a big party. And we began to realize that we wanted to start working toward having a spiritual home where we could have more gatherings like that. More than just on a Sunday morning, but a bigger experience as a community. Remember those days we first started thinking about that together? We had an idea of how to make our community just a little sweeter and just a little higher functioning. We had an idea. We had an idea of how we could more closely align ourselves to the perfection of the divine. And that's a clue for you, all right? Whatever it is in your life that you want to more closely align yourself to the perfection of God, whatever that is a divine idea. Wherever you see the possibility of more love to be in your life, more abundance, greater creativity, truer truth, and more freedom and joy, whatever that idea is, that's a divine idea. And we had a divine idea about a year ago. So the board began discussing. We were having discussions. And one of the things that we identified as an early step for us as a community was to go into prayer and visioning, okay? So last spring, we asked the practitioners and the congregation to begin holding in prayer this idea of having a new spiritual home, right? And that's a very good first step for you, no matter what it is you want in your life. Once you get a divine idea, take that idea into prayer and meditation. Because here's the deal. There's a power in the universe, a creative power, a powerful power, and you can use it. And it can use you to create your divine idea. Not only do you want to speak your idea in prayer, speak to the universe, speak your creative word, but you also want to open yourself up in meditation to listen, to hear more. You want to listen. See, Spirit's ideas are captured through listening, and they are deepened through listening. You might have a spark of an idea, but in meditation, it may go into a completely different level and a different direction. And we did that too. In April and May of last year, we held visioning sessions. We met as a board and as a practitioner team and did visioning sessions where I have the notes from those sessions. One of the things it's not in my notes, but one of the things I wanted to share was in one of the visioning, I can't remember if it was practitioners or board, it came through that we are the people. We are the people to make this happen. We're not waiting for something else to come in and take us to the next level. We, as a group, will take us to the next level. And I loved that when I read that again. See, visioning is a special type of meditation where you ask questions about what Spirit wants to express through you. But also, what do we need to release in order for that to come through? And what do we need to do differently in order for that to come through? And those visioning sessions were very informative. It became very clear that a 24/7 home, not just a church in a box on Sunday morning, but a 24/7 home was a greater idea for us. And not only did we listen to Spirit, we listened to each other. Remember that meeting we held in this room? And we fully explored this divine idea together with others who had the same idea. We had discussions about what we desired on the physical plane. What did it look like to us? We boiled it all down. Remember, we wanted a sanctuary, we wanted more than one bathroom, we wanted a children's space, we wanted plenty of parking, and we got pretty specific about what we wanted. We knew we wanted a place to set up the sound and the chairs, and only once, and we didn't have to do it every time, right? We didn't have to reconfigure them every week. Most importantly, we figured out that we wanted to feel at home. We wanted to feel like we had a home, and that we wanted to feel love and ease together more than like we had chores to do, but we could just come in and love each other. That's what we wanted. So in effect, what we were doing is we were planting this giant seed into the creative law, okay? A divine idea seed, all right? And we knew exactly what plant we wanted to grow. We knew what we wanted to grow. And so we planted the seed with a tremendous amount of faith, and we let it go, and we trusted. And that is a very powerful step. All right? Through prayer and visioning and meditation and conversation with others, you can become super clear on exactly what you want to grow in your life. You can become super clear on what you want to feel once you have the thing that you desire, or the situation or the circumstance that you're looking for. You don't have to worry about how to grow the thing you want to grow. Just like the farmer doesn't have to worry about how that corn's going to grow. He just plants the seed, right? You just have to plant the seed and trust the soil of the creative law to do whatever it has to do to grow it. So the next step the board took was in June. See, we needed to figure out how to not rush the process. You know how the farmer plants the seed, he doesn't go keep digging it up and looking, what's it doing in there? It doesn't do that. So we had to allow the entire community to help us determine the timing of things. Because you know the board, we're pretty bossy folks. We're pretty like, get them done, let's get them done kind of people, right? So the board decided that we wanted to have a financial cushion in place before we signed the lease, right? We didn't know how much our lease would be, but we just kind of took a guesstimate. It'd be probably somewhere around $3,000 a month maybe. So 6 months would be $18,000, right? So if we were going to be comfortable moving forward, we wanted to have that cushion in place. So we created a coconut tree. It's really not a coconut tree, I made a coconut tree. But anyways, a tree looking thing. And we started to move the nut up the tree, right? How many of you have been here when we moved the nut, right? We moved the nut up the tree. So some months, we didn't get to move it up. Because our criteria was, we figured out the average giving every month, and we said any $1 above that, that's what we'll put and move the coconut. Because we needed the regular giving to get through our month, right? So some months we didn't get to move it up, and others we took like a huge leap forward. But this illustrates a very important part that faith plays in the creation of anything. See, once you've planted a seed in the mind of God, you're either going to water that seed with faith, or you're going to kill the seed with what I call spiritual roundup. You know, roundup? Spiritual roundup is fear. All right, fear. There will be days when it doesn't look like your seed's going to grow. Your idea is not going to come into fruition. And on those days, you have a decision to make. You're either going to say, I trust the process, I trust the timing of Spirit, or you're going to withdraw in fear and give up on your dream. This choice is going to happen, I promise. I promise the day will come when you're going to say, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But that's when you have the choice to either water it with faith or spray it with spiritual roundup, one or the other. Your choice, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But on the months that we did not get to move the coconut, we didn't make a big deal out of it. We didn't come in here and say, come on, people, we didn't move the coconut. We didn't even talk about it. We just trusted the process. We just waited. We waited until the next time we could move the coconut, and then we celebrated. We just didn't pay attention to that impulse of fear and doubt. We didn't spray spiritual roundup. We just said, well, it's happening a little slower. That's interesting. We trusted the timing of the community and of God itself. We had faith. So don't spray spiritual roundup on your idea. Don't let fear and doubt stop you. Sometimes I've said that Spirit makes you choose it and choose it again and choose it again and choose the dream again. Are you sure you want this? Are you sure? Are you sure you're ready for this? Are you sure you're ready to play bigger? You know, sometimes you might be tempted to say, never mind, I can't move to Hawaii. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Or, never mind, it hasn't happened yet, so I'm just going to do something else. You know, I'll never get that job that I want, so I'm just going to give up and just quit, right? That is spiritual roundup. And it's usually about timing. Because see, we like things when we want them. We have an idea of when that crop should come up. We've seen it happen in a short time before, so if it doesn't happen in a short time, well, it must not be supposed to happen, right? No, don't do that. It hasn't happened yet, but I don't give up. And the board, we didn't do that either. The community didn't do that. We just kept believing. And in December, we moved the coconut a lot, right? End of year giving is a beautiful thing, and we moved the coconut a lot. So much much so that we decided, hey, we better start looking, right? We better start getting ready. So we created a bigger committee, right? We didn't want, the board's pretty small. We created a bigger committee to join the board in the search. See, I wanted as many people with their minds focused on this as possible. There's magic in that too. There's power. There's a scripture, when two or more are gathered. When two or more are gathered. So let's get the more in here. Let's get everybody gathered and focused on this idea. And we found a commercial agent to assist us in the search. Now the funny thing about the agent is this. We found an agent earlier in the fall, but they just weren't working on our behalf. They wouldn't return phone calls. They said they were looking, but they also said, oh, it's what you're looking for is going to be very difficult to find. And they actually stopped at some point returning emails. And this illustrates another important experience that we can have when we're creating something in our lives. Sometimes things get blocked. Elements of our ideas get blocked. Now, we as human beings, we just really don't like it when things get blocked. We don't. We typically get very busy and start trying to unblock them, right? We start trying to climb over the block or sneak around the block or tumble under the block, right? We just try to get down the path we just don't listen to the block, right? We chose a path, this is how I'm going to do it, and we just kind of force things. See, I think our egos get us into trouble because we haven't figured out, right? So the invitation is to never force something to work. Never force it. See, it made no sense that an agent who was going to make money by finding us a place just stopped working for us or just didn't even want business. Didn't make sense. But what I've learned is that when something doesn't make logical human sense, it makes sense on a spiritual level, and I don't have to understand why it was blocked. It was blocked. It was supposed to be blocked. This is just not our agent. On some higher level, that was not the path we were supposed to go. It's not our way. So allow yourself to go with the flow. Go with what's ease, what has flow to it, and trust that a new way will be found. And for us, a new way was found. Our new way was named Gary. Now, Gary Color was exactly what we needed. As a moving committee, Gary was perfect. Don't we love Gary?
Yes, we love
Gary,
yes.
if you're listening, we love you. So he was determined to find us a home. He had no doubt he would find us a home. And as it should be, he was the one who identified 4501 East Columbus Drive. You know, I really believe Spirit sent Gary to us. I do. Or if you want to word it differently, our consciousness drew Gary to us. See, when you have faith in your mind, you have faith in how it works. You put out what you want. What you're looking for is looking for you too, right? So anyway, the committee began to meet at these various potential locations all around Tampa. If you were on those little field trips, it was lots of fun. So when we met at the first location, I asked the team to gather up for a brief meeting. If you were there that morning, you'll remember this. The other agent that had to unlock the door was late, right? He was late. What agent's late, right? But it was perfect because it gave us a chance to gather and to gather our thoughts a bit and peek in the windows too. But it gave us a chance to gather. And I said something like this. I said, it's something like, it's unlikely that this is our building. It's unlikely that the very first place you walk in is going to be the place. I know that would be all nifty, but it's probably not going to happen. But what I believed was that Spirit was taking us to any of the locations that we looked at, and it was going to be teaching us more about ourselves. So I said to the team, listen to the building. Let it tell you more about who we are, what we want, and what we don't want. We are here to learn. And I said that morning, but when we walk into our future home, it will be unanimous. We will all say yes. Was I crazy? Sometimes the board can't even agree on the type of paper we're going to use, right? So it's hard to get consensus on a small detail, much less calling forth a unanimous agreement. But no, I wasn't crazy. I was faithful because I truly believed that Spirit was leading us to the right place, and we would feel it. We would feel what we meditated and visioned about. We would feel it. We were aligned in knowing what seed we were planting. And if we had planted a corn seed, I trusted that we would recognize the corn plant when it came out of the ground. Right? We knew what we planted. We knew it. So surely we would recognize it. Right? And I trusted that we would feel that home feeling, that feeling of ease when we walked in. I just knew we would feel that. And the team will tell you that's exactly what happened. Every time after time, we walked into spaces, and a few of us would like it, and a few would be like, no, this is not right. And a few would like it, and sometimes it was a unanimous, no, this is not for us, right? But not with Columbus Drive. Not with Columbus Drive. Gary emailed me the location, the little listing thing before, and the minute I opened it, I felt that energy surge. That energy surge is another clue for you that, yes, it's just like right away. And I sent it out with the committee, and I couldn't wait to go see it. I couldn't wait to go there. And immediately we all felt it. And the first time and only time, there was a unanimous agreement. Yeah, we had questions. We had some questions we had to get answered and some doubt. But when it came time to vote, everyone was yes. And in our next board meeting, we voted to sign the 3-year lease. But wait, what about our coconut tree? I had left that coconut tree not quite all the way there. So we signed the lease on February 8th. And at the end of February, we exceeded the goal. So if we brought the coconut tree up, it would go all the way to the top. Not the month before, not the month after, the month we signed the lease. See, Spirit is in every single step, and it shows up in that kind of synchronicity. It shows up as ease. It shows up as, this is right. It's right. And these last few weeks have been amazing too. So we've manifested beautiful and comfortable chairs for the sanctuary. We have laughed. And these are the chairs. If you didn't sit in it last week, that's the sample chair. They're all stacked up over in a closet over there. But we've laughed and we've worked together. We've painted and joyfully helped create the space. Individuals have stepped forward to donate their time and their talent and their treasure to just create this beautiful thing. And I can feel the coming together of the energy of this group. And folks, this is just the beginning. When you're moving in the right direction, you can feel it in your bones. Actually, you can feel it in your soul. See, your soul always wants more of the divine. More love, more freedom, more wholeness, more expression, more abundance, more joy. See, your divine idea wants to express itself in your life just as much as our divine idea wanted to express itself in this community. And once we had an idea, we fleshed the idea out through prayer and visioning and meditation. We planted a seed and we surrendered to the timing of the divine. We kept watering the seed with belief and faith, and we believed in its growth. Yeah. We moved forward when we found it easy to move forward. And we paused whenever anything felt blocked. You can do these same steps in your own life. So next week is our annual membership meeting, and it's your opportunity to kind of learn more about the inner workings of all this. So I hope you're planning to attend. As I said, we're going to have the old-fashioned potluck and right after the service, and as soon as we get a plate, we'll all get started and talk. It's time to step into the ideas of how to fill our new space with love and meaning, with outreach and service to more people in Tampa. It's time for each of us to figure out how we can play a role in expanding every aspect of CSL Tampa Bay. We are a spiritual community that works together to create our common good. But we are also a community that supports each other in creating our individual good too. So prayer and meditation work. Giving to where you are spiritually fed works. Planting seeds in the creative soil works. Looking fear square in the eye. Looking it right in the eye. And continuing to water your seeds with faith works. Spirit is in every step because Spirit is in you. So So I invite you to just say yes to walking this spiritual path together. Let's keep saying yes to creating what we're creating together and continuing to have these divine ideas expressing through us, both individually and collectively. So let's just say yes to like another 8 years. How does that sound? So happy anniversary to every one of you. I'm so glad you're here in this moment with us, and so it is.